What is a battleground they could thrive on? Let's see.
Shiny.
Shiny indeed. I love it. Now, this question will be answered relatively soon. It is going to be Braxis.
Yeah, called it. That was it. Like,
dude, I thought you were ahead like 1 or 2 seconds because of the
no, I
you
went
actually
straight.
nailed it.
Yes. Cowdor just texted me, but Wukong Gaming, they needed a battleground where they can actually just take a lot of team fights on. That's where they actually were able to excel on the very odd occasion. In this map, you're pretty much guaranteed a 4v4 team fight consistently, with a 5v5 if you're lucky. So as long as you're able to guarantee a single lane and never lose it, as long as you don't get base raced in the other lane, you're looking pretty reasonable to at least hold.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And you know what this could be, though? This could be a map for Uncle G's Zarya. If they banned it before, they need to be aware of it on this battleground in particular. Why is Zarya so strong on Braxis Holdout? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, she's a solid laner in a 4-man lane, especially if combined with a strong support like Oriel, for example. The healing, the shields, it all adds up so nicely. And in a long laning phase, you can also absorb a couple of tower shots to shield up yourself and your allies and get tons of energy.
So, the Morales as a first ban for SOA. China,
only in China.
Me. But yeah, we did see Wukong Gaming pick that up as a very early pick last time. It did not work at all, but at least they tried, and at least SOA have done the research. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to have to fight an assassin with all that healing potential behind them. They don't want to take the risk that they will get the preferable fights.
Exactly. The Genji ban also makes a lot of sense on this battleground in particular. The amount of boss control he provides is just second to none. Not only is he going to reflect a lot of damage, but also he can transfer it to a nearby enemy hero. We saw that in NA that one time. I think it was Equinox who died on the Meridian within split seconds before he could even trigger anything.
Yes, that does happen sometimes. But that does give Wukong the Uther straight over, and they immediately go for the Uther and the Valor, so now they can go with whatever secondary support they like to finish up. The Holy Trinity isn't really a thing anymore. It doesn't really count.
Yeah.
So this is just the double support Valor combo, which we see quite a lot. The Ariel going to be denied and put with the Cassia, though. This is a move that a lot of teams are starting to do, and it works so well. Would you like to tell us why?
Absolutely, because, you know, Oriel and Cassia, they just pair off so well together because Cassia, unlike most other ranged assassins, especially auto attackers, with the exception of Vala maybe, she has very consistent damage, and especially charge strikes at level 1 provide so much potential AoE damage that Oriel is always going to have enough energy to keep everyone alive. I really like this Oriel in general here, though, because they can even go for something like Gul'dan, which is just a force to be reckoned with on this map, while then finalizing their draft with a strong soul laner, and bada boom, you have a wonderful comp.
If your brain was a skin, it would be Speedo Tychus, because that was awesome. We are seeing Wukong Gaming now heading into their next ban, and the Zarya is being hovered. That's fair. They're looking at the Zarya over the D.Va, but with SOA's comp, not sure how well D.Va would work. Like, the slows would be nice, but I think the extra shielding for Cassia is a bit more scary.
I agree. I tend to agree. But, I mean, we saw Chicken from RPG perform admirably well in a D.Va soul lane, but yet I think there are stronger soul laners in there. Leoric, first and foremost. Dehaka could still be an option. In fact, Dehaka, who used to be quite a popular ban target or first pick target for many teams prior to this series, has been completely ignored.
Indeed. He's just been... Yeah, like, he's still pretty good on this map. That's an excellent point. That's sort of just passed over my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, he should be picked up by Wukong right now.
Oh,
that would be a great pick. That and maybe a second support. The one I would like to see here would be potentially... Oh, no, that's fine as well. But I honestly would have liked to see, and I know it's just been completely ignored for a while, I would have not hated a second support as a Lili.
Can you elaborate on that? Like, why would you like to see
still
a
get
Lili?
You still get the extra healing. If you went for Arthas and Lili, you get the counter to Cassius, because you get the blinds, and of course you get the very high armor hero that can wade forwards. you can drop the you go for full Cloud Serpent build, drop that onto Valor to keep her sustained as much through and increase her damage output quite a bit, assists you in the wave clear, and of course if you drop the Cloud Serpent onto Arthas as well, you give him crazy sustain and crazy damage output as well. You still get Jugs because there's only currently one form of CC on the side of SOA, and it is dodgeable, and you have Uther who can either drop the Divine Shield or he can run the Cleanse instead and just time it hopefully for the interrupt.
Right, so now you heard Tetcher's, excursion on Lily. I like it. Lily is still a hero that I think is a little bit underrated, so you definitely have a point there. But hey, you can't argue with SOA's logic here, going for the Dahaka, super solid solo laner, and the KT is finally making an entrance here. I've been a big defender of KT across all the regions, not just Europe, because we all know Mene, how strong he can be on that one, but he offers so much on this battleground in particular. It's if you want to go convection, this is the time to do it. You have a very stable, very safe laning phase. You're not going to get ganked all the time, and there's a lot of enemies to hit in the 4-man lane.
Yeah. And if not, if you want to play it a bit safer, you can go for the Mana Radict. It's a double globes on this map, basically, due to the globe spawner down below each of the below the bot lane and above the top lane. So you get lots of globes farmed up nice and easy, giving you a nice sustainy shield. And of course, you get the crazy value out of burned flesh against heroes like Arthas, who are usually grouped up with someone else as they move forward. In this case, likely the Alarak, as they will want to combo their abilities together.
What?
Okay. First Tyrande. Is that the first professional play Tyrande since her rework?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first professional game in which the new Tyrande has been unleashed. There has been a lot of, debate going on how strong the rework has made her. So far, the general consensus seems to be just a little bit weaker than before, but Wukong Gaming, they disagree. Is it the secret weapon they really need to make something work here? Now, we're going to talk about this very, very soon, and we're going to pay special attention onto that talent build, because there's a couple of ways you can build Tyrande these days. You can go for stuns, you can go for the Ranger's Mark, Hunter's Mark upgrade, excuse me. Tetcher, what is your take on that, Tyrande?
I actually have no idea. I've sort of just tried her a couple of times, thought she was a lot weaker, and then sort of ignored her for a bit because I didn't expect her to really be played. I don't know what any of her builds are because there is no professional build for Tyrande.
That is the first time to really determine what pro players in the HGC are going to do with the Tyrande. Now, so they're not really smiling. They're not really like, yeah, Tyrande, we don't even know what that hero is. Yeah, but they're taking it seriously, and so they should.
Yeah, it's still got a good amount of crowd control output. It still could be a little bit valuable here. But we will see. It's still got some burst potential. You can either run it as an assassin. This is a second support to run, so you can just run it with full assassin build, which is basically the only options you have these days. But it still could be useful.
People would actually argue that Tyrande resembles an assassin way more than a true support after her rework, and I tend to agree. She offers a lot of utility and a lot of damage if you don't take care of her. Now, can SOA take care of the Priestess of Elune? We will find out in game number 2 between Wukong Gaming and their contenders SOA, who are currently leading 1-0.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Braxis Holdout. And spawning on the left-hand side, it is going to be Wukong Gaming looking to take their first map in HGC China, where we have playing for them Ailing playing on the Valor, Laohu playing on the Tyrande, Deo playing on the Alarak, Zero on the Arthas, and Moon on the Uther.
Alright, do they have what it takes to beat a Tyrande, something we have never seen in professional Heroes of the Storm before? We have Feiyi on the Oriel, we have Uncle G on the Nubrak, Kovo here on the KT, Spark BZ on the Cassia, and last but not least, Tank Ovo, on that KT. Now, together they are SOA, and it is going to be one hell of a match here, Tetcher.
Yeah, and to clarify, Kendrick did beat in Chinese HGC and with the new Tyrande, not in Professional Heroes of the Storm total, because we've seen quite a lot of her in that.
Not the new Tyrande, though.
Sorry, second?
Not the new Tyrande, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Okay,
clarifying because you said we haven't seen it in professional Heroes of the Storm, but I was like, there's been a lot of that. We've seen a lot of Tyrande. That's why I'm clarifying. It's all good. So we're seeing the stacking Luda Flare build coming in straight away. Telekinesis from Alarak trying to get himself out of danger. Drops a Discord Strike as opposed to running away, and that's such guys.
Ooh, 2 supports were not enough to keep Alarak alive here. And we see something highly unusual. The only frontliner is being sent to the solo lane, which is Arthas here in that case, and the bottom lane is left without anyone to hold it. So, you know, I don't necessarily agree with it, especially if you have Alarak, who's a decent solo laner in the first place, and he's not really a tank. So look at that onslaught. SOA, they're just pressuring and hammering in like there was no tomorrow. And I don't really know if Wukong Gaming has enough, what it takes to really hold this lane, Tetra. It's going to be so hard.
I don't know. We had a lot of damage onto the first tower already taken down in the bot lane. As Wukong Gaming moves a little bit further forward, tries to telekinesis in Cassia, but she's able to dodge out of the Discord Strike quite easily. Rana needs to be very careful where she stands. She's already got the Living Bomb spread to her once, and very nearly spread it to her allies there. Flame Strike coming in onto Alarak, trying to kill him off for the second time. They are not going to get Alarak, but they do take down Valor. And this is looking rough. These hard engagements from SOA are so hard to deal with.
It's a literal inferno in here. The bombs are spreading, the love is spreading by KT, and I'm not sure if you want this kind of attention, man. Wukong Gaming, not only do they have an exceptional weak laning phase here with the Tyrande, I feel, and their only frontliner Arthas going top, but they're also making it very easy for KT to get all the value in the world. And look at that convection. We talked about it. We said that this was one of the few battlegrounds where it's it's very safe to do so and pick this route. And so far, it's just working flawlessly.
And the talent next to Convection, on the other hand, we almost never see. This is the mana tap. 4% of Kael'thas's maximum mana when you activate your Verdant Spheres.
Yeah, I do not hate it here necessarily, because the way this game has been going so far was just, you know, we push, we don't back off, so the only thing that could cripple my performance as a KT would be a lack of mana. Since we don't have Malfurion in our team either, this could be a true problem. And so far, he's trying to fight it with the mana tap. As he said, KT now getting focused. I think Wukong Gaming realized that if they don't shut him down, he's going to bring terrible, terrible pain onto the enemy team after completing Convection.
But Ariel's getting lots of energy and is continuing to heal KT and Cassia up as they continue to move forward. One javelin and down goes the fort. First fort of the game at 3 minutes and 17 seconds. But level 4 is available for both teams. Celestial Attunement coming in for Tyrande. This should be useful. We have 1, 2, 3 stuns available. 4 if you count both that Anub'arak has.
Yeah, for those of you guys who are not as familiar with the new Tyrande, Celestial Attunement basically only works on stunts. It's like a mini cleanse, as I want to call it. Available at level 4, though, which makes it very attractive. And if you landed early against an Anub'arak, or the Sticky Licky Tongue from Dehaka, or the Gravity Lapse from KT, you can actually save a target in need. However, trust me, it is much harder to land than many people think it is.
Yeah, it is not easy, but we'll see if they are able to make some use of that. Meantime, though, so you can't stop them. They keep going, keep pushing. They're finally going to retreat, but only because they've run out of minions.
Yeah. And what Celestial Attunement also does, if you successfully hit it on a stun target, you get an immediate replenishment of your heal, healing people twice. Now look at that teamfight though. Dehaka joining.
3 people, lots of low heroes here, but they're still not able to lock down anyone and get a kill.
Yeah, level 7 talent advantage here also available. And so as far as BZ, he caught the Arthas. Not enough damage to kill him though. Oh my.
They weren't able to finish off Arthas, but they were able to finish off the one person who could have got the person knocked up by the Gravity Lapse out of there. Tyrande, even with that Celestial Achievement, can't cast it on yourself. She gets taken out.
I'm not sure if we should take this game at this point as an experiment by Wukong Gaming to see how good the Tyrande can be against the stun-heavy meta. Was Ruther just dancing there, or did my eyes deceive me?
No, he was in the Gravity Lapse.
Okay.
Yeah, he was kicking his legs.
Alright.
Right now, yeah. I wouldn't count this as an experiment because, as unfortunate as it is to say, this isn't that unusual in terms of play level from Wukong Gaming. So we see Soa turning it around, punishing the mistakes, attempting to look for that keep very early on, before 7 minutes maybe. Before the first objective is what they're looking for.
Exactly. Now, No, so they've got all the time in the world. They're ahead 2 levels by now already, and while it is not uncommon to see teams in Heroes of the Storm to be 2 levels ahead in the mid to late game, you know, when things snowball a little bit out of control, in the early game pre-level 10, that should never be the case.
Yeah, Noob going in, finds that Tyrande once again. They're turning it onto Alarak though, trying to finish him off. Good Discord strike, silencing out the Noob to prevent him going in any further. And as such, this time, Wukong Gaming going to be able to escape, but once again, pressure is on in the bot lane.
Yeah, and so far, of course, we see...
Round 2.
Oh, now it's a 4 versus 5 situation. This might be exactly what Wukong Game needs here.
Kael'thas dropping low, he gets taken down. Convection cancelled out, but in exchange, Valor already finished off. Now it is 0, getting focused. Here comes the hacker, trying to catch up with the rest of the team to get a drag. He's run out of movement speed, but Moon is out of position. Good move there to dodge out on the Anubrak knockup, and with the knockback, they are able to get out of there. Nicely done.
Lao Hu here going full assassin mode for a while here, using that Hunter's Mark on Anubrak and her attacks to damage the beetle quite heavily. So we gotta say goodbye to our convection stacks, but hey, I think it was a worthy trade. It was a good trade overall, because look at that juicy Zerg wave in the top lane. They're gonna get more structures even. The top keep is still dangerously low, and level 10 is super close for SOA. So, you know, the grand scheme of things, all worth it.
Yeah, nicely done over all the stacks. It's very sad to see them go, but at least their advantage is continuing to grow. That bottom keep is very fragile, and the Zerg wave in the top lane is getting even tougher as they move on. Now, Tyrande does have True Shot Aura, going to increase the damage output here from the rest of Wukong Gaming, trying to burn through all of this.
Phoenix goes down, zones out the defenders quite handsomely here. Keep in mind that there's no level 10 yet available for Wukong Gaming, so Arthas, even he himself needs to be very careful because he's going to die very quickly. Now the isolation goes on him, no self-healing here, and that might be the end of it.
Achievement, hello, no, lightning ball, bounce, 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 dead. And he's taken out. Good Discord strike though to prevent a huge amount more chase as the first keep of the game goes down. It's not the bot lane one, quite surprisingly. Yeah. Looks like SOA may want to try and end the game here if they can get one more pick. Gravity Lab just short of range. This might be enough to dissuade them and force them to move away.
Yeah, camera shakings here and there, making me feel a little bit dizzy, but still a nice way to give more insight on what's going to happen around those fallen keeps. Now, I think they kind of actually press the advantage a little bit more, maybe circling around the core to the bottom lane. So yeah, but let's see. That's the cool thing about Oriel in general. Like when you have a good time pushing and when you're so far ahead, you can maintain those pushes for so long because you're never going to, for so long. Exactly. I thought about it for a moment because you're never going to go out of mana. And that's normally what sets Oriel apart from other supports. You can out-sustain double support comps very handsomely simply by never getting out of mana.
They can. This is the help of the mana tap of Kael'thas. They are trying to prevent the running out of mana as much as possible so they can continue pushing forever, as they really do want to get down that bottom keep at some point in the game. They put a lot of time into that.
Yeah.
So we do see SOA continuing to take control of their side of the map. They're not risking taking enemy mercenaries though.
You see Starfall here at level 10 for Tyrande, which is a great choice. Her Shadowstalk was, you know, it was reworked, but me personally, I just don't like it. It is a 1% invisibility, and gives her increased attack speed. Sure, that's nice because it combos with a cooldown on her heal, but overall, Starfall is just too impactful of an heroic ability to be passed on.
Especially at level 20. First started to get the slow. Nice detainment strike there. Very barely dodging the gravity lapse. If he could never win, he would have hit that, but oh well. Down goes the keep, finally taken out. But yeah, there is a potential really strong combo here if Valor had taken Strafe. If you go for the level 20, the level 20 Starfall, you can strafe into that and shred people, but that is not what they have gone for. And also, I don't think they're getting to level 20. I don't know what gives me that thought.
9 levels is still a long time, especially when both keeps are dead already. Now, Arthur's in trouble, but they seem to be getting telekinesis. Hold on.
There is the Starfall. Shy decides to just go back in as opposed to backing up after coming out of the Aegis. Starfall doing crazy damage, but Arthas is still already dropped. There's still a cocoon open with Uther inside it. Down he goes. There we go. And trying to save him, Alarak came back in. He gets killed off by the Flame Strike, and we're seeing SOA moving into the bot lane. Or are they going to go for the objectives? I think they're going to go for the objectives.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for the beacon.
It's not too low.
I mean, the death timers at this point in time are very, very short. You can see that. 10 seconds on Uther, 10 seconds on Alarak right now. Because, you know, it's just level 11. It's just, you know, not really that much. So is taking the 100% safe path. They're going for both beacons, and I don't want to be the party pooper here, but I think with that next Zerg wave, it's probably going to be lights out for Wukong Gaming unless they make a miraculous haul.
Yeah, I would almost certainly agree, but we could see if they could do so. We have to believe somehow, some way.
We believe.
Wukong Gaming, hashtag we believe against SOA, because they used up all their belief last season.
Exactly.
As we see Wukong Gaming rotating up to the top, rotating up to the boss area, but the boss has despawned. It's gone because here come the Zerg. They didn't contest the beacons at all. So it's all in on this defense right now, but with Arthur's being focused down, such an attunement actually is activated this time. The cocoon needs to be popped. Starfall being dropped down to slow any kind of advance, and also assisting clearing up the Zerg. Bolt Lightning, they actually split, saving Li Ming, saving Valor there, and they've managed to do a lot of damage to the Zerg, keeping themselves alive for the moment. Yeah. Fountain popped, which will get destroyed by the Zerg.
Yeah, the bouncing balls of lightning, not enough to really pop out any of those targets here. And Wukong Gaming is still in full numbers to defend this. But Arthas gets licked, and he might be the one to fall first. This is a terrible situation. Divine Shield in time, though, to save him for now.
Arthur's able to move back into the base, keeping himself alive for the moment. Here comes more mercenaries in the top lane as well, though, as the Zerg begin to get cleared up. And SOA, pretty much at this point, even though it's a 5v5, just ignoring Wukong Gaming. And that is going to be GG. And SOA take the series in a 2-0, a convincing one at that.
Yeah, a very convincing victory, and I think SOA can be very pleased with that outcome, because even against a, you know, an opponent that is not considered to be that good, they could have dropped a point if, you know, overconfidence had gotten to them, but they remained calm and collected. They played their style, they played their game, and what used to be one of the bottom tier teams in Phase 1 is suddenly becoming a serious contender for the top 5 seeds here in China.
Indeed, very nicely done by SOA, and we're going to be very curious to see how far they can continue to grow and how good they can actually get, because this is now a team which last year it has potential. Now they're finally starting to tap into it. They're at the Namek arc, I would say, of their growth at this point.
Absolutely, and I'm so happy for them, because compared to KISS, which was the other bottom tier in Phase 1, SOA were the ones who kept improving, whereas KISS, you know, remained on a fairly low level throughout the season. But SOA, they never stopped working hard. They are hard workers, and it's so far paid off in Season 2. Of course, they have new members, but that is all fair and square. And if you get new members that reinforce your lineup, well, there's nothing wrong about it. And they did all the right decisions here, in my opinion.